For the longest time, if you were talking about consumer 360 cameras, you were pretty much talking about one company, Insta360. They've owned this space. But a serious new challenger has just stepped into the ring. DJI, the giant from the world of drones and gimbals, has just dropped its very first 360 camera, the Osmo 360. So the question on everyone's mind is, how does this rookie stack up against the undisputed champ?
And that's really the big question, isn't it? Are we looking at a new king of the hill? I mean, DJI has a serious track record of entering a market and just completely changing the game with incredible, high-quality tech. This isn't just some other camera hitting the shelves. This could be a major shakeup for how we all create 360 content.
So to figure this out, we're going to treat this like a real title fight. We'll start with the challenger's grand entrance, then we'll go round by round, covering design, image quality, endurance, and of course, the software. And after all that, we'll deliver our final verdict. Let's get into it.
Okay, so let's set the stage a little. For years, Insta360 has pretty much been the gold standard, They've built this massive community and a really good software ecosystem around their cameras. But DJI jumping in, that is a huge deal. These are the masters of camera tech and stabilization. When they decide to build something new, everyone pays attention.
And that's really what this is all about. The DJI Osmo 360 isn't just here to compete, it's here to win. With the specs it's packing, it is taking a direct shot at Insta360's crown. This is a genuine battle for the top spot.
All right, let's kick things off with round one, design and usability. Look, specs on a sheet are one thing, but how a camera actually feels in your hand and how easy it is to use in the real world, that's what really counts. So let's look at the hardware. Putting these two side by side, you can see right away they have totally different ideas about design. The Osmo 360's got this smaller, horizontal screen, while the Insta360 X4 has that big, beautiful vertical one. Now, a massive point for DJI is that 105 gigs of internal storage, but Insta360 punches right back with a bigger battery and, this is a big one, lenses you can actually replace yourself. So what's that mean for you when you're actually out shooting? Well, that internal storage on the Osmos is an absolute lifesaver. Come on, we've all been there. You get to a location and realize you forgot your SD card. Problem solved. But pretty much everyone agrees that the big vertical screen on the X4 is just a way better experience. It makes changing settings and navigating menus so much easier. And this right here, this could be the knockout blow for Insta360 in this round. User-replaceable lenses. Think about it. If you're using this as an action camera and you take a tumble, scratching a lens on the X4 is an annoyance. You just swap it out. But on the Osmo 360, a damaged lens means the entire camera has to be sent in for a costly repair. That is a massive difference in long-term durability and just peace of mind. Okay, on to round two, image and audio quality. Now this is the main event. This is where a camera truly proves itself. Let's see if the Osmo 360's incredible specs can actually deliver a win in real-world performance. On paper, the Osmo 360 is an absolute monster. It's got a nearly 1-inch sensor, which is just massive for a camera this size and should mean amazing low-light footage. It shoots in 10-bit D-Log-M, which is a pro feature that captures over 1 billion colors, giving you a ton of flexibility when you're color grading later. Plus, 8K video, enormous 120-megapixel photos, and from what reviewers are saying, the built-in audio is fantastic. But, and this is a big but, here's where things get interesting. The longtime 360 expert Ben Claremont put the cameras through their paces and said this: even with all those incredible specs, the actual difference you see in the footage between the Osmo 360 and the Insta360 X4, it just wasn't the giant leap forward that everyone was expecting. When you actually look at the footage side by side, it's surprisingly close. Yeah, the DJI can sometimes handle bright spots, like the sky, a little bit better, but the X4 often seems to have a bit more contrast and detail. And while the Osmo has that fancy D-Log-M profile, the X4 has a dedicated HDR video mode that does a great job. And here's a key software point. Insta360 lets you fine-tune the stitch line to hide it, a feature that DJI just doesn't have yet. Let's move on to round 3, endurance and reliability. Because let's be real, the best image quality in the world means nothing if your camera's battery dies halfway through a shoot or if it just isn't reliable. So first up, battery life. According to DJI's own numbers, the Osmo 360 can record 8K video for a solid 100 minutes. That's a pretty big step up from the Insta360 X4 75 minutes. So just based on pure recording time, it looks like a clear win for DJI here. But hold on, reliability is about more than just how long the battery lasts. And with DJI's brand new camera, the first wave of reviewers have found a pretty significant and honestly a potentially deal-breaking problem.
That problem is lens fogging. And it's not just a one-off thing. Ben Claremont saw it happen after just a quick dip in the water. And remember, this camera is supposed to be waterproof. Another reviewer had it happen just riding a motorbike in totally normal weather. It even happened during a simple overheat test sitting on a desk. The thinking is that some moisture got trapped inside the lenses when they were built. This can absolutely ruin your shots, and it's a problem that the Insta360 X4 just doesn't seem to have.
All right, we're at our final round before the big verdict, the software workflow. Because shooting the 360 video is really only half the battle. The editing software is where the magic happens, where you turn that crazy spherical footage into a story people actually want to watch.
And DJI's desktop app, DJI Studio, it's a really good first try. The whole process makes sense, it's pretty intuitive, you plug in your camera, create a project, reframe your shots on a timeline, do some color correction and export. For a version 1 piece of software, it's surprisingly polished.
But when you put the two software ecosystems head-to-head, you can really see Insta360's years of experience. DJI software is missing some key creative tools, like motion blur to make your hyperlapses look super cinematic. It doesn't have plugins for pro editors like Premiere or Final Cut, and maybe most importantly for social media creators, it's got nothing like Insta360's Shot Lab, which uses AI to create these wild 360 effects with just one tap. The software just isn't as mature yet.
Okay, the bell is rung, the rounds are over. So where do we stand? Let's get down to it, break down the final verdict, and help you figure out which one of these amazing cameras is the right choice for you.
So, who should buy the DJI Osmo 360? Well, you should pick this camera if raw image quality is your #1 absolute top priority. If you're a pro who needs that 10-bit color for serious grading and you need the best possible low-light performance, this is probably your camera. The amazing audio and that built-in storage are also huge wins. But you have to be okay with taking a risk on a first-gen product, especially with that lens fogging issue. On the other hand, you should go with the Insta360 X4 if you want proven reliability and a more polished, complete package. Those replaceable lenses are a huge safety net. The software is years ahead, it's powerful, and it's packed with creative stuff that's perfect for social media. And honestly, that big vertical screen just makes the camera easier and more fun to use. For most people, this is still the more reliable and complete choice.
Look, DJI's first shot at a 360 camera is impressive. It really pushes the limits on image quality, but it's definitely held back by some serious rookie mistakes. So, it hasn't dethroned the king, not yet, but it has put everyone on notice. And that leaves us with a really exciting question for the future. With a beast like DJI now in the fight, is the 360 camera war just getting warmed up?